Hello there, it's Sarah from Paper Lovely. Thanks for joining me today. Yesterday I gave you a Just the Cuts for day 7 of our Craftoween series. Oh, I am so far behind, but we are getting there. We are gonna get there. And today I have come up with my own card to share with you using the same dies. So I think you've probably got an idea here of where we're gonna start. We're going to make a bunch of books and we're going to stack them up. This has kind of been my MO for this series. I've been doing a lot of repetition and it's just, I don't know, it's what I'm feeling right now. So I went ahead and I cut out, I think, 2 of each of these Halloween colors that I have picked out, and we're quickly going to put all these books together. I have sped this up to around 400%, so it's not going to take us too long in the video here. If you want to skip ahead, it's about the 2.5-minute mark. We'll actually get started putting everything together. The colors I am using are from Concord & Ninth, Sorbet, from Stamp Market, Melon, from Spellbinders, Terracotta, Orchid, Mulberry, Acorn, and Truffle, and from Paper Tray Ink, Winter Wisteria, and then of course I have some Nina Solar White mixed in there as well. All right, so now we're going to get ready, started here, putting the card together. And I had this idea of using these strips of some leftover Nina. I thought it would help me keep my stack of books straight, but honestly, you'll see they kind of wiggle wobble here. That's all right. As long as you keep your right edge aligned and keep that looking straight, you will get a nice straight stack of books. So I tend to just sort of lean left a little bit here, but it's because I think of the original placement of my book. It just, I don't know, it just wasn't quite centered. I do even worse on the next stack, so just wait and see. But I know I want to have 2 stacks of books, one taller than the other. So we're working on the tallest stack here, and I've kind of pulled out a random of all my colors, also mixing and matching the directions of the book. And I just want to make this look not necessarily planned. Like, these are books that have been left on the desk or piled on the floor as they've been used and just set aside. I am mixing in a few brown covered books just to give a little bit more realism, since normally books are not all purple, orange, and pink. And here you can see me just continuously leaning to the left. But as I said before, just make sure that that right edge of your books is lining up and you will have a nice straight stack. Here I'm just giving up, cutting that off, and I'm just going to stack the rest of the books here. So this is going to be our first stack, and I knew I wanted to go with the sentiment, wishing you a mysterious Halloween night. This second stack I have somewhat laid out, but I want it to be shorter, and I'm not quite sure, how tall. So I'm going to start out here with this purple, and I thought I had this figured out now. I was going to line up all of that right edge, those corners of the books, and this would stack perfectly for me. You'll see it goes wonky as well. I'm not quite sure what I was doing wrong. Maybe I needed to start more in the middle. But it was a good idea. It just didn't quite work to have that backing behind everything. Again, stacking these up, mixing in a little brown book there for more realism. And I'm just laying this next to my other stack. I want to see how tall I want this to be. I am going to place a candle on top of it, so I'm keeping that in mind as well. I have a tendency to want to keep going, but I'm trying to find some balance here between the skull that I want to lay against those books and making this look balanced and somewhat realistic with our sizing. All right, I'm going to place a candle on top of this stack. So I do want to have the book that has the hinge on the left-hand side. I know I want to end with that because the way the candles are made to melt, it goes over the binding of the book. So I do all of that, pulling in, pulling back out again, just to go with what I had originally lined up. We're going to finish with this light purple on top. Make sure that's glued down to our backing there, and then I'm going to trim that excess away. And here I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I do like to do this before I place anything down because if my sentiment smudges, I can always get a new panel to work on. So laying this out approximately how I want those books to be. And I'm going to move this over slightly to the right to balance out my skull that's going to be on the bottom left-hand side. Stamping this, as always, with my Simon Says stamp, Intense Black ink. And now we'll go ahead and start putting this together. I'm going to add a little bit of glue just along the bottom edge of that candle and get those drips placed over the edge of my book. I'll go ahead and pop this up with some foam dots. And then we're going to start by gluing down our largest stack of books, adding some art glitter glue behind there, lining that up along the edge. And I'm just using that second stack there to make sure I've got my placement where I would like it to be. Laying everything out. I'm going to peel away the backing on all those foam dots. Now you will notice I don't have any foam dots behind the little flames of the candle. I will go back and add a very teeny tiny strip of foam tape behind there because I was really worried after I got this together that they were just going to get torn when they went in and out of the envelope. So I'm sparing you the tediousness of that, but just know I did add some before I finished the card. They were just that small strip of cardstock just made me very nervous. So I've gone ahead and pressed that into place. Now we're going to lean our skull up against there. This is leftover from the die set. I think it was day 2 that had the raven that sat on top of the skull. So I had one of these extra, and I thought this was perfect to just lean against our stack of books, add some extra spookiness. One foam dot on the bottom corner there, and then some art glitter glue, so that'll be nice and even with that second stack of books. We'll place that at an angle there to complete our little scene. For the inside, we're going to stamp out the sentiment, magic and mischief await, again using that Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. I'm going to add some art glitter glue to the back of my panel. We'll place that on top of our card base. I always like to go around all four edges, make sure that's down nice and tight, and then I'll finish up by taking my bone folder around those edges as well. We'll add some ATG to the inside panel, place that down. And that will complete our card for today. Here are a few close-ups of the finished card. In the description box below, you'll find my blog post, which has additional photos and links to the supplies I've used. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.